Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 330 based on novel. So let's start. The demonic red light surrounded Wang Lin's entire body. This red light came from the blood that fused with his origin soul. With the power of this strange blood, Wang Lin was able to reform his body in an instant after collapsing. Not even Wang Lin had time to think about this sudden development. He could clearly feel that the power from the blood was rapidly dissipating. It wouldn't take long for the power of the blood to completely dissipate. However, Wang Lin no longer cared about all of this. Now that his body had reformed, a crazy idea filled his body. He looked at Daoist water and charged out. As he charged out, his body rapidly changed and he changed into an ancient god that was thousands of feet tall. The 6 stars between his eyebrows rapidly rotated, and the star of law appeared as well. At a glance, he looked like a 7-star ancient god. A crazed aura came from his ancient god body. At this moment, it was as if Wang Lin had devoured countless celestial ascension fruit. He couldn't die, he must not die. He had to kill everything before him no matter the cost. Roar. As Wang Lin roared, he was like a vicious spirit from ancient times. His right hand formed a fist and smashed down on Daoist water. At the same time, a complex chant came from his mouth. The ancient god clan didn't have many spells, but each one was extremely powerful and not something cultivators could understand. As Wang Lin's words echoed, a powerful vitality force erupted from his body. In this world, nothing could match an ancient god's vitality, ancient god spell, life exchange. Wang Lin let out a roar and threw a punch. This punch was so earth-shattering that the void before him suddenly collapsed. With this punch, Wang Lin's vitality dissipated rapidly, and the impact in that punch shot straight at Daoist water. There was a thunderous bang and the entire rank 5 region was about to collapse. Wang Lin's fist collided with Daoist water's right palm. Bang! Wang Lin coughed out blood and his body was thrown back, but he stopped himself after flying 10,000 feet. He revealed a mad expression and charged out once more. Daoist water's expression was unchanged, but his right felt slightly numb. He was using all his power to resist the 7-colored nail and had only split off a bit of power, but that palm was enough to destroy a peak Nirvana Shatterer cultivator. To exchange life for power, this is only a temporary boost. I want to see how many punches you can throw. As he spoke, Wang Lin had come again and thrown the second punch. As he threw the second punch, a portion of his vitality dissipated. His originally white hair was now gray and the stars between his eyebrows were dimmer. The second punch arrived. The moment it collided with Daoist water's palm, Wang Lin endured the injury in his body and revealed a bitter smile. Even though he was injured, he threw the 3rd punch, 4th punch, 5th punch, 6th punch, In a flash, Wang Lin threw 10 punches. These 10 punches wasted too much vitality. When the 10 punches landed, the shockwaves spread and the entire rank 5 region collapsed. Countless spatial cracks appeared in the rank 5 region, and the cold wind swept the rank 5 region. Wang Lin's hair fell, wrinkles appeared, and he suddenly became old. However, his eyes were still red and gave off a crazed battle intent. Thunderous rumbles continued to echo as the punches continued to fly at Daoist water. Daoist water's expression was still the same after the 2nd punch, but after the 6th punch, he pulled his right hand back. He retreated a few steps and spat out fog. He used this fog to resist Wang Lin's remaining punches. Even if you have the body of an ancient god, you can't withstand this kind of spell that expends life. To fight his old man with this kind of spell is laughable. Daoist water sneered. He had been able to hold off the 7-colored nail between his brows. No matter how hard it drilled, it couldn't break into his skull, but that heart-wrenching pain was still present. The sovereign's 7-colored god void nail is too strange. Fortunately, this child doesn't know how to properly use it. However, it is best to prevent any sudden changes. Daoist water let out a roar as he erupted his full cultivation in an attempt to force the 7-colored nail out. A majority of Wang Lin's vitality had dissipated from his body. He was like an old man who was near the end and gave off waves of death aura. The stars between his eyebrows were dim and wrinkles filled his body. It seemed like his body was aging rapidly. However, the fire in his eyes became even stronger. He let out a desolate roar and rushed out like a moth flying to a fire knowing he was going to die. How many knew that a moth flying toward a fire sometimes wasn't a yearning for the fire, but the determination to put that fire out? As he rushed out, Wang Lin's right hand formed a fist and waved. Thunderous rumbles replaced all sounds in the world as he threw the 11th punch, 12th punch, 13th punch, until the 19th punch suddenly erupted. Every single punch was the peak of Wang Lin's cultivation, a powerful blow from an ancient god, all in exchange for his vitality. The thunderous rumbles echoed across the world. Blood came out from Wang Lin's orifices and he was on the brink of death. But those punches didn't stop, and even Daoist water was moved by this. As the rumbles echoed, Daoist water's fog resisted it all. Not only did it not collapse, it was about to devour Wang Lin. Unfortunate. If you can last for more than 100 punches, you might be able to injure me while I'm resisting the 7-colored nail. However, 19 punches is your limit, and all the vitality in your body has collapsed. Without even me killing you, you would die in just a moment. Daoist water's indifferent voice spread out, but Wang Lin could not hear it anymore. His ears were filled with blood and he couldn't hear much. He was very tired and death aura had filled his body. A sense of the end filled his heart, seeming to want to take him far away. Away from this cruel cultivation world, from all this pain. Even the red light in his eyes dimmed, and they were without light. However, just as the fog pushed Wang Lin, he suddenly raised his head and his dimmed eyes shined brightly. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. I understand. This battle isn't a battle intent, but the determination to resist even knowing death is coming. Wang Lin revealed a miserable smile as he took a step forward and threw another punch. 20th punch. After that punch, black blood leaked out of the corner of Wang Lin's mouth and he began to laugh. This laugh was filled with the pride of an indomitable spirit that ruled above all living things. I, Wang Lin, began cultivating at 16 years old. The 21st punch flew out. The fog didn't stop and charged at Wang Lin. I entered the Hengyu sect. Killed Teng Li. The 22nd punch flew out, and the fog suddenly stopped. I escaped to the Sea of Devils and formed my golden core. The 23rd punch. The fog shrank and let out a sharp roar. Reached the nascent soul stage, wiped out the Teng family, shocked planet Suzaku, became the All-Seer's disciple. Wang Lin continued to walk forward as he seemed to mutter to himself while laughing. This punch bombarded like crazy. The 24th, 25th, and 26th punches. The fog burst open and was forced back 30 feet. Yin and Yang stages, 3 realms of nirvana. I faced a lifetime of crisis, never yielded, and killed countless people. The 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th punches. The fog retreated as it roared even more violently. It was frightened and retreated in panic. I have killed countless people since then. It took more than 2,000 years of cultivation to reach where I am now. The 31st punch. 39th punch. I battled the heavens, battled the earth, and today, I battled a 3rd step cultivator. So what if I die? The 40th, 41st, 42nd, 53rd punch. The only regret is that I can't resurrect my love, since I'll die with her. But so what? The 54th, 55th, 56th, 64th punches. The fog that was knocked back dissipated into the void. Even if I give up all my vitality, so what? The 65th, 66th, 67th, 75th punch. Blood spewed out from all over his body. He was now covered in blood. His body rapidly shrank and he began to rapidly age. Stiffness filled his body, making his internal organs decay, and his vitality was all gone. In truth, at the 23rd punch, his vitality was used up. The remaining punches all came from the power from the blood that had fused with his origin soul. I walked through the world standing upright. If I die in battle, so what? Wang Lin's voice was hoarse, as if even his voice contained the taste of blood. It could shock the mind of anyone who heard it. The 76th, 77th, 78th. 84th punch. My vitality ran out and I'm about to die, but the punches from this spell aren't over. Flowing time, reverse time 5,000 years. Give me 5,000 years of vitality. Wang Lin looked up and smiled. After 84 punches, he continued to walk forward like a battle celestial walking forward with the determination to die. There was nothing before him that could stop him. There was a rare sign of seriousness in Daoist Water's eyes. For the first time, he felt like the experience this person had was not simple. As Wang Lin spoke, the collapsed void around him turned into a sea, then a giant, stone door appeared. A desolate aura spread out and shrouded Wang Lin, the 85th, 86th, 87th, 100th punch. In this short period of time, Wang Lin had consumed all the power of the blood, all the vitality in his body, and used flowing time to gain 5,000 more years of vitality to complete the shocking 100 punches. This was Wang Lin's strongest 100 punches. This was his entire life. 100 punches. There seemed to be no force in this world that could resist the 100 punches Wang Lin that had used his entire life to throw. These 100 punches contained Wang Lin's endless vitality, his 2,000 years of cultivation, all of his origin energy, and all the power from that mysterious blood from the Iron Sword. This was a pinnacle of Wang Lin's life. This was the strongest attack he had used with the intent to die. These 100 punches were Wang Lin. Like a moth going at the flame, these punches charged at Daoist Water. A moth flew at the flame to put it out. To use its own body to put out this ancient flame. Daoist Water's eyes became serious and were filled with disbelief. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The ant before him had managed to use vitality to punch 100 times. These were no ordinary 100 punches, they were created by the essence of his entire being. It was brilliant. It gave Daoist Water a powerful sense of danger. If it wasn't for the fact that he was using all his power to resist the seven-colored nail, there would have been no danger. After all, the power of the third step was difficult to imagine. However, right now these 100 punches shocked Daoist Water greatly. Thunderous rumbles turned into an endless storm that swept toward Daoist Water. Daoist Water's eyes lit up as his hands formed a seal and he pointed forward. A giant vortex of water appeared before his chest. The moment it appeared, it shot out like a big mouth ready to devour. The heavens and earth are infinite. Water Dao devour spell. Daoist Water let out a roar as the huge vortex began to devour everything before it. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The endless rumbles almost caused the rank 6 region to collapse. There was no star fog left, as if a giant hole had appeared within the star fog. As the roar rumbled, Wang Lin's entire body was covered in blood. His heart beat weakly before it suddenly shattered. There was almost no light in his eyes. The collapse from the 100 punches was strong enough to destroy everything. Even someone at the Heaven's Blight stage would die. The shockwave spread out in all directions and swept across the cloud sea. As the shockwave spread out, all the star fog collapsed, all fierce beasts died, and even many wild continents collapsed. Even the rank 6 region suffered the same fate. It was as if a giant hole was opened in the cloud sea. Wind howled from the hole as if a terrifying demon was going to crawl out. Under this bombardment and shockwave, popping sounds echoed around Daoist Water. His hand continued to move and he quickly retreated. The water vortex was pushed back and immediately went back into his body. Daoist Water's clothes exploded and turned into fragments. Even his hair was scattered. His face was pale and blood came out of the corner of his mouth. A third step cultivator was actually injured. I underestimated him. Since Daoist Water was injured, he could no longer suppress the seven-colored nail. The seven-colored nail shined brightly roared once more as it drilled in 3 inches more, breaking his skull. Intense pain washed over him as Daoist Water coughed out blood. The blood turned into countless runes that turned into seals to seal the nail. Good. For an ant like you to injure me, even if it was when I was resisting the seven-colored god void nail, you have shocked the world and can laugh in the afterlife. Daoist Water wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, then monstrous killing intent filled his eyes. He took a step forward toward Wang Lin and raised his right hand. His right hand instantly covered the sky and descended on Wang Lin. You can now die. Even if you are reborn, I'll kill you. Carefree reincarnation Dao. This old man will kill you in 100 reincarnation cycles. I want to see how you will be reborn. Daoist Water's voice was like a cold wind. As he waved his right hand, he seemed to extract all the reincarnation law in the world and formed his own reincarnation cycle. A giant wheel appeared as his hand moved. There was a howl as it smashed down on Wang Lin. Once Wang Lin was hit by this, he would be destroyed 100 times, and there would be no chance for survival. Just at this instant, a gust of wind tore through everything in this collapsed battleground. Slave Daoist Water, if you kill him, I'll kill you. An ancient voice came from the void and echoed in this battlefield. Water Daoist's body suddenly stopped. He suddenly looked around at the void and his expression became gloomy. Old fellow, you want to stop me? You were sealed by the ancient celestial realm into a stone. They trapped you for 100,000 years to refine you into a magic treasure. Right now you are borrowing the power of the outside star system from the mosquito beasts to survive, yet you want to interfere. You want to stop me? What qualification do you have to stop me? Daoist Water let out a cold snort. He no longer hesitated and his right hand slammed down on Wang Lin. However, just at this instant, the wind turned into a giant hand that reached for the reincarnation cycle that had appeared. Junior slave, back then, you were only a slave before the Lord of the Sealed Realm and had to be respectful toward his old man. Now you have entered the third step but have become extremely arrogant. Even the evil ancient celestials couldn't kill me, they could only seal me for 100,000 years to refine me. You're a mere slave, a frog at the bottom of the well. The ancient voice was calm as the wind hand grabbed the wheel and suddenly pulled. A sharp howl suddenly echoed. Daoist Water's expression changed and his hands formed a seal. Then he pointed and shouted stop spell. The moment he roared, the hand formed by wind stopped for a moment. It was just for a moment, then popping sounds echoed and it broke free. It grabbed the wheel and mercilessly squeezed. The wheel collapsed and dissipated. Daoist Water's pupils shrank violently and he exclaimed, "It's impossible. You have clearly been sealed. How can you resist my stop spell? I know you absorbed the source origin from the outer star system. You can absorb power from the outer star system. You have some insight." The ancient voice let out a cold snort as the hand formed by the wind reached for Daoist Water. Daoist Water let out a scream as his hands formed a seal and pointed at his chest. His cultivation suddenly exploded and a giant cultivation planet appeared behind him. This cultivation planet contained dense origin energy and gave off powerful vitality. There was enough vitality to match a rank 5 ancient god. Endless mutters come from the cultivation planet. The mutters turned into a strange energy that entered Daoist Water's body. His eyes lit up and he roared, 2 billion yin and yang disciples, roar, roar, roar. Daoist Water pointed at the sky and then quickly pointed 3 times at the wind arm that was reaching towards him. Every time he pointed, the giant cultivation planet behind him would tremble. The shadow of a cultivation planet would appear and fly toward the arm, charging at Daoist Water. When the finger pointed 3 times, 3 large cultivation planet shadows shot at the wind hand. A shocking pressure descended in this void. Just like your original body, these 2 billion yin and yang disciples are neither male nor female race. The ancient voice sneered. The wind arm didn't stop and charged forward. Rumble, rumble, rumble. 3 loud bangs echoed. The 3 cultivation planet shadows exploded into a destructive aura that rushed at the wind hand. The hand formed a seal that was also made of wind and collided with the destructive force from the 3 cultivation planet shadows. A thunderous rumble echoed. The hand didn't dissipate, but it was heavily damaged. It rushed toward Daoist Water and pressed down between his eyebrows. Old fellow, you're meddling. Your original body can't come, and this is a mere avatar. Die for me, die, die. It was as if something had touched Daoist Water's weak spot. He revealed a hideous expression and his right hand reached out. He pulled the giant cultivation planet and mercilessly threw it. This old man has gathered 2 billion water Tao disciples to worship for tens of thousands of years to create Joss flames for me. Today I'll destroy 500 million water Tao disciples to form Joss flames and kill your avatar. Then I'll go to the wind celestial realm and kill your real body. Daoist water let out a roar as the giant cultivation planet was smashed down by him and collided with the damaged hand. A loud rumble echoed. The moment the cultivation planet smashed down, a powerful force appeared. This was an energy unique to third step cultivators. It was created from the collapse of 500 million water Tao disciples. The damaged arm immediately collapsed. Thunderous rumbles echoed. The ancient voice let out a muffled groan as he was injured. The voice and the wind hand disappeared. Old fellow, you coming to stop me means that this ant is important, which makes me want to kill him even more. Now that your avatar has died to the Joss flame of my water Tao disciples, who can stop me? Daoist water's expression was extremely hideous. The 7-colored nail was rotating between his eyebrows but couldn't penetrate more than 3 inches. However, the part that entered his skull had begun to melt, causing a hint of madness in Daoist water. Daoist water suddenly turned around and charged at Wang Lin. His fingers opened up and he closed in with killing intent. However, just at this moment, a shocking change occurred. A finger made of wind suddenly appeared between Daoist water's eyebrows and pressed down on the 7-colored nail. Daoist water's expression changed greatly and he stopped. Countless shadows appeared before him to block it, and he quickly retreated. You're still not dead. This finger appeared too suddenly, without any warning. Daoist water thought he had destroyed the other person's avatar, and his mind was being affected by the madness from the 7-colored nail when it appeared. This finger appeared at a heavenly opportunity. There was no better time for it to appear. It was right when Daoist water was defenseless. Daoist water's expression changed greatly and his speed of retreat reached a limit, but he still couldn't dodge. The shadows that appeared before him attempted to dodge, but they suddenly collapsed. Rumbling sounds echoed across the world as the shadows were all destroyed by the finger. Finally, after destroying everything, the finger rushed out and pressed down on the 7-colored nail between Daoist water's eyebrows. An indescribably powerful force rushed out and Daoist water screamed. The 7-colored nail mercilessly stabbed in. It broke through everything by force, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. This nail was only 7 inches long, and now it was embedded 5 inches deep. Just 2 more inches and it would be completely inside, and at that time, Daoist water would be seriously injured. Because this nail had pierced the spot between his eyebrows, it was a weak point for cultivators, unlike the shoulder, where Wang Lin was stabbed. At this moment of crisis, Daoist water's face turned pale and fear filled his eyes. He was well aware of how powerful the 7-colored God Void nails were. When he saw his master being stabbed by 94 nails, that painful expression was something Daoist water could never forget. Master, save me. Daoist water retreated, but the finger followed to push the nail in even more. At the moment Daoist water cried out, a powerful force came from within his body. This powerful force condensed on the back of Daoist water's right hand and turned into a charm. The moment the charm appeared, a golden light lit up the dark space and spread out. The finger pressing down toward the 7-colored nail was hit by the golden light and dissipated, releasing a hiss in the process. Lord of the Sealed Realm, back then you said this slave that had helped you a lot, so you gifted this slave a charm that would protect his life 3 times. When he betrayed you, you clearly had 2 chances to kill him, but you let him go, wasting 2 uses of the charm. In the end you died. Now tens of thousands of years have passed, and the 3rd use of the charm is being used. You're still going to protect the Tao slave that betrayed you. I admire your cultivation, but I disdain your ways. Your ideals are too inflexible. The ancient voice let out a sigh and slowly dissipated. Daoist water was soaked in sweat. At this moment, enduring the pain between his eyebrows, he felt a lingering sense of fear. He grinned and let out a roar at the sky. Master, thank you. You still have to protect me after death, which makes me somewhat sorry about what happened, but you must die, you must die. Daoist water had been shrouded by the madness from the 7-colored nail, but he was suppressing it with his powerful cultivation. However, that madness had changed his personality. Otherwise, given his cultivation level and age, he wouldn't speak like this. As long as it hasn't drilled all the way through, once I kill this ant, I can enter closed-door cultivation to force this nail out. Daoist Water's eyes lit up. He no longer hesitated and charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes were still open. He felt himself slowly walk toward death as watched everything that had happened. When he saw Daoist Water charge at him, there was no panic in his eyes. Instead, there was absolute calmness, as if all the madness from before had been released with his vitality. Life and death, karmic cause and karmic effect, true and false. All of these are opposite existences. After life, there is still death. I have used a fist of life, but I can still explode all the death within me. Let us both die together. I can collapse all my ancient god stars in exchange for one more attack at my peak. I can destroy my star of law in exchange for endless origin energy and split the heavens. Wang Lin seemed to become enlightened in something, and his eyes revealed a strange light. The death aura within him suddenly formed a vortex. This vortex could destroy the world, break yin and yang, and shatter reincarnation. Unexpectedly, there was a hint of essence coming from this vortex. This was essence. This was the most important thing to becoming a third-step cultivator. Wang Lin was no stranger to essence, as he had obtained some before. However, he had obtained it from the battle scrolls. It wasn't Wang Lin's own essence, but an external force. At this moment of life and death, Wang Lin gained enlightenment in life and death. The moment his death aura erupted, he comprehended his own life and death essence. Even though this essence was very little, this meant that the door to the third step had opened a crack for him. This was like a bucket of cold water being poured on Daoist Water. The madness in his eyes dissipated greatly and was replaced with shock. This child has the potential to become a third-step cultivator. He actually comprehended his own essence. There are countless cultivators in this world, but third-step cultivators are extremely rare. This child could actually reach this point. If given enough time, I fear that he could become a third-step cultivator in just 1,000 years. Daoist Water's expression became gloomy, but his determination to kill Wang Lin grew even stronger. He must die. Daoist Water charged at Wang Lin. He raised his right hand and the giant cultivation planet appeared before him. He was about to use the power of this cultivation planet to crush Wang Lin, who he thought of as an ant that had turned into a mortal that had turned into someone with the potential to become a third-step cultivator. The death aura around Wang Lin rotated like crazy. The life and death essence inside was growing. Although it was slow, it was real. It seemed like it was going to break free from the death vortex and appear in this world. At this instant, the royal ancient god stars, including the just recovered sixth star, all shattered. Shattered stars. All 6 stars exploded. At this moment, an even larger vortex appeared outside the death aura vortex. This vortex was filled with unimaginable ancient god aura, and another essence came out of this vortex. This essence was born from reaching completion in the karma domain. The ancient god shattered stars were an action of karma. Without the stars shattering, how could there be power? Shatter and power were karma. In this moment of life or death, Wang Lin's shattered stars allowed him to comprehend his second essence. Karma essence. This Daoist Water's expression changed greatly. Wang Lin's life and death essence had already shocked him, but at this moment, a monstrous wave was set off in his heart. There was actually a second essence. Just one essence is enough to become a third-step cultivator, but having 2 essences is extremely rare. Only people like Sovereign, Qin Lin, and other amazing talents could enter Dao with 2 essences and reach the third step. If this child can reach the third step, then the moment he enters, I will be no match. My only choice will be to escape. Daoist Water had only ever met 2 people with 2 essences, Sovereign and Qing Lin. These 2 people were all extremely powerful, so much so that Daoist Water could not compare to them. However, now he was looking at a third person with 2 essences. At this moment, he even had the thought of taking Wang Lin in as a disciple. However, the moment this idea arose, it was erased by him. This child hates me to the bone, But his talent is extremely rare. Even in both the inner and outer realms, such a talent is one of a kind in tens of thousands of years. This kind of person will die by my hand. This gives me more joy than the destruction of any amount of magical treasures. Haha. Such a gifted person will be killed by me. The madness in Daoist Water's eyes became even stronger as the cultivation planet closed in on Wang Lin. Just at this moment, the star of law between Wang Lin's eyebrows suddenly collapsed. The collapse of this star of law formed a third vortex that swept the world and surrounded Wang Lin. In this third vortex, there was actually essence as well. The true and false domain was contained inside his star of law. The moment this new law collapsed, the true and false domain reached completion. A true and false essence came from the vortex. This was Wang Lin's third essence. Life and death was the first essence. Karma was the second. True and false was the third essence. 3 essences suddenly rushed out from the 3 vortexes. However, they were still weak and needed a long time to grow. When they reached a certain point and became complete, Wang Lin would be able to enter Dao with 3 essences and become a heaven-shaking third-step cultivator. This scene caused Daoist Water's attack to stop, and his eyes almost popped out. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. 3 essences, 3 essences. No one in this has entered Dao with 3 essences. This child is heaven-defying. If he enters the third, even if he has just entered, I won't even be able to escape from him. 3 essences. Sovereign and Qing Lin only have 2 essences. Even Master only had 2.5, unable to completely realize the third one. How could his child have 3 essences? This kind of person is someone even the heavens will want to destroy. If he becomes a third-step cultivator, even void turbulent cultivators will be no match. He could destroy the world and rule supreme. Who the hell is he? He can't be an ordinary cultivator, but the reincarnation of some powerful cultivator. What kind of powerful cultivator would have the ability to reincarnate and cultivate 3 essences? Unless he is the reincarnation of a legendary, 4th-step heaven-trampling cultivator. Daoist Water was a 3rd-step cultivator, but at this moment he was frightened by everything he saw. Since I have provoked such an existence, I must kill him, or else there will be no place left for me. Daoist Water's face was pale as he clenched his teeth. His power as a 3rd-step cultivator erupted as he fused with the cultivation planet and smashed down on Wang Lin. Even if you are the reincarnation of a 4th-step heaven-trampling cultivator, you will still die for me. For this old man to kill this kind of person, it was worth it. Die, die, die. This video will end here.